Dragon Ball is a series I really enjoy, and those who are watching this video are probably also fans of Dragon Ball also. If you're not, then I think this video will help you be introduced to Dragon Ball. For this video, I will be explaining fun facts and trivia by an iceberg chart. Essentially, the top facts are more well known, and the deeper this gets, it gets more obscure and cursed. This chart is made by True Blue Loser from Reddit. No, this is not an insult, this is their legit name. See this meme? Get this and you'll have a pleasant experience throughout this video. Without further ado, let's get into the iceberg.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Influences and references in modern media. This is referring to how Dragon Ball has influenced a lot of pop culture and even have references in it. For example, an episode of Kids Next Door references the Frieza saga, and the Amazing World of Gumball is referencing Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Cartoon Network really loves Dragon Ball, huh? Dragon Ball video games. This is talking about multiple Dragon Ball video games that this series has, and there is an absolute crap ton of them. The more famous video game series that does stand above them all though is the Budokai Tenkaichi series and the Xenoverse series. Dragon Ball was inspired by Journey to the West. It's true, this is a Chinese novel and features a character named Sun Wukong. And if you put Son Goku into the picture, your neurons should probably start comparing those two by now. I also came across this image and surprised this isn't a meme. Dr. Slump. This is a title Akira Toriyama worked on before he worked on Dragon Ball. The reason why it's here in this iceberg is because of how Orally, the main character of Dr. Slump, would appear very rarely throughout the Dragon Ball series. She even folds Vegeta like an omelet. Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT is a sequel to Dragon Ball Z and is easily the most controversial series within the Dragon Ball community. Goku was a child for some reason, there were a lot of plot holes, and Pan. Though personally, this is how I got into Dragon Ball, by watching the baby arc back then on cable television, so it has a special place in my heart. Seeing Super Saiyan 4 Goku for the first time really got me excited as a child.
It's over 9,000!
This is a meme within the Dragon Ball community where Vegeta scans Goku's power level when Nappa is getting his ass handed to him in the Saiyan saga. And this is from the Ocean dub, and not by Funimation. When this did air and it was up for home releases, it said his power level was over 8,000 for some reason. Dragon Ball Z Abridged. This is an iconic parody by Team 4 Star. This parody both dubs and edits scenes of Dragon Ball Z and making the scenes absolutely hilarious. In terms of fan-made works, this is usually the one that comes to mind. Dragon Ball Evolution. This is a live-action film of the Piccolo saga of Dragon Ball, at least it's supposed to be. This ended up being one of the worst pieces of Dragon Ball media because of how unfaithful it was to the anime. For example, they made Goku in this movie a high schooler for some reason, and Piccolo looks generic. Just don't watch it. It's awful. Power levels are useless. I believe this is referring to how the concept of power levels were erased after the events Dynamic Saga. Basically, starting from the Android Saga, everyone is so powerful it's literally common sense to see who's more powerful than the other. Though you know we Dragon Ball fans, we like seeing huge numbers, so it's one of the debated topics within the Dragon Ball community.
One thing, I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government.
DBZ and Sonic parallels. This is referring to how Sonic the Hedgehog has some inspiration from Dragon Ball Z, like the Chaos Emeralds being the Sonic version of the Dragon Balls, and there's even super forms. What if? This could be talking about two things. There's a what if mode in the Budokai Tenkaichi series with a variety of stories, or this could be referring to how Dragon Ball YouTubers make what-if videos to tell us how Dragon Ball would take in an alternate route. It's typically Goku being betrayed and in the time chamber, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, and Knuckles. Censorship. Back in the 2000s, Dragon Ball Z was airing on Nicktoons. Because Nicktoons has a child audience, they had to censor things that might be a little too on the nose. One of the things it's famous for is Blue Popo. Now you get the Team 4 Star joke. Krillin suffers from PTSD. Krillin has his fair share with death in this series, so I would like to believe so. Goku vs Superman. This is a debate within the power scaling community, which is reasonable considering they are the most powerful characters in fiction. What really kickstarted this series though was a web series called Death Battle, where they had two fictional characters fight each other to the death. They ended up making 3 parts to this, and I do suggest you check them out. Saiyans are named after vegetables. Yep, Goku's original name, Kakarot, is a reference to carrot, Broly is a reference to broccoli, Vegeta is... well, it's just vegetables. What the f do you want me to say about it? Beerus was inspired by Toriyama's cat. In a book about Dragon Ball's history to honor the 30th anniversary, it was revealed that Akira Toriyama modeled Beerus after his own cat. For those who want to know, the cat's name is Debo, or Debo. I think I might have butchered that. Son Goku and his friends return. This is an OVA released in September of 2008. This came out before Battle of Gods, so technically this was the grand return of Dragon Ball at the time. It features Vegeta's brother named Tarble, and the villain is whatever this thing is. I already forgot his name, and granted I don't think anyone cares. Dragon Ball VR Versus. This is an arcade game developed by Sega and Banpresto, which was released on the arcades. The gameplay was similar to Punch-Out in a way, and depending on the character you play as during the story mode, you can get a unique ending for each of them. That's if you go for the antagonist of this game, Azato, which is an exclusive character in this game. Forced perspective. I believe this is talking about how Dragon Ball FighterZ really messes with the models in order to make scenes look nice. You know, stuff that we aren't supposed to see, like Gohan's arm getting huge. If it's not that, then please tell me in the comments. Dragon Ball AF. This was rumored in an entry in a Spanish magazine, which spread rumors for a new Dragon Ball series called Dragon Ball AF. It included an image of the design for Super Saiyan 5. As it turns out, we were tricked by a con artist. However, one man by the name of Toyotaro would later make this a manga. It would feature a character named Zykor who would be the antagonist for the series. I would get into detail with more to the story, but I do suggest checking this out yourself if you want more of a fresher experience. Though, don't be surprised if you get disappointed because this manga ended very abruptly because Toyotaro was hired to work on Dragon Ball Super's manga. Mr. Popo controversy. I already mentioned this earlier, but sure, whatever. Back when Dragon Ball was airing on Nicktoons, they made Mr. Popo blue. My guess is that it's probably because of blackface. Oh, who am I kidding? That's probably the reason. Saiyan physiology. This could be talking about the unique thing with Saiyans, that being Zenkais, which makes them stronger from a near-death experience. Or it could be talking about that stupid scene about your back being tingly when you turn into a Super Saiyan. Gohan Rice commercial. This is an advertisement that aired in Japan that was a crossover between Dragon Ball Z Kai and some Japanese text that I cannot read. It's pretty much famous for what happens to everyone's faces reacting to, well, it's rice, but actually it's stuff meant for rice. I don't know what it's called. I tried looking up black sludge for rice on Google and got nothing, so if anyone can tell me, please do.
He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
Team 4-star voices in Xenoverse 2. When you customize your character for Xenoverse 2, selecting voice 8 should sound familiar. That's because it's the voice of Nappa from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, who is voiced by Curtis Arnott, also known as Katata 101. Chi-Chi can use Kaioken. I couldn't find an official statement, but there are some scenes where Chi-Chi has a red aura. It's possible that Goku taught her the Kaioken, otherwise why would they make her aura red of all things? Traced fan animations on YouTube. This is referring to how some fan animations are traced from the Dragon Ball series. Nowadays, not many people do this. My take on this as an artist myself is that as long as if you admit this from the start, or you're using it for practice, then it's whatever. Japanese commercials. Like with the Gohan Rice commercial, there are other commercials that like to cross with Dragon Ball. This could be talking about any other commercial, so I'm just gonna lay an example here. There was a crossover with KFC and Dragon Ball to advertise the Battle of Gods movie. There was even a statue of Colonel Sanders dressed up as Goku. Sadly though, this only exists in Japan. Puff puff. Don't say I didn't warn you that these facts were gonna get more cursed. Okay, so this specifically takes place within the original Dragon Ball, and it appears with an interaction with Bulma and Roshi. And the term puff puff is being used here. This is a Japanese term for placing a person's space between a woman's breasts.
Well, you learn something new every day. I'm just gonna move on.
Gokul and Tiencha. Gokul is the fusion between Goku and Hercule. He appears in Imagination, where Goku is deciding who to fuse with the Potara in the Majin Buu arc. That's it. But for Tianxia, the fusion between Yamcha and Tien, appears in Budokai Tenkaichi 2 to fight off against Majin Buu. I actually like it when the other adaptations of Dragon Ball do something a little different. It's refreshing to see than see the same story over and over again. Cell absorbs Krillin. In Budokai 1, a story for What If mode shows Cell having a nightmare that he accidentally absorbs Krillin. This not only makes him weaker, but makes him as short as Krillin too. Dude even gets jumped by Tien and Yamcha, it's funny. Goten was originally gonna replace Goku. Goten, the younger son of Goku, was originally going to be the protagonist of the Majin Buu arc, but due to fan disapproval, this was scrapped and Goku ended up being the protagonist again. Legacy of Goku 4. This was a 3DS game that would have been an action RPG game like all the other Legacy of Goku games. The developers, Whitfoot Technologies, were not able to find a publisher to fund for the game, which led to its cancellation. Harmony Gold dub. This was a dub for the OG Dragon Ball that only dubbed the first 5 episodes and 2 movies, Curse of the Blood Rubies and Mystical Adventure. The 2 movies would have been edited into an 80-minute special. What makes this dub unique, however, is that it would have changed the characters' names. Goku would be Zero, Bulma to Lima, so on and so forth. But the most ridiculous in my opinion is that Puar is Squeaker in this dub. Gods of Destruction are based on alcohol. Yes, and so are the angels. Beerus is beer, Whis is whiskey, you pretty much get the gist. Goku and Frieza's fight took 5 minutes in real time. Although Frieza said Namek was going to explode in 5 minutes, it ended up taking around 20 episodes. So the overall theory is that Goku and Frieza traveled at light speed and the fight is slowed down for the viewer to process. Or it's just bad writing. Dragon Ball Online. Before Xenoverse 1 and 2 was Dragon Ball Online. This was an MMORPG being developed in both South Korea and Japan. It never got a worldwide release. According to the Dragon Ball wiki, it would have taken place within the manga. Sadly though, the servers are shut down. As for the reason, it's unknown. My guess is that less players were playing the game. Dragon Ball Kart 64. This is a ROM hack of Mario Kart 64 that replaces the Mario characters into Dragon Ball characters. It was created by Amma Vegeta and it was even made possible to put the ROM hack into a physical cartridge. Now I don't know about you, but that is pretty cool. Just don't tell Nintendo about it. Please.
Ya basta, Freezer!
Caulifla, Kaba, and Kale are Goku, Vegeta, and Broly's counterparts. It's kinda true. Caulifla has Goku's hunger for battle, Kale has a problem with containing her power, but note that I said kind of. Because I see absolutely no similarity with Vegeta and Kaba. Sure, they train together, but in terms of personality and their journey, you lost me. Goku Black is Goten. This was a theory back when Goku Black was first shown on the air and the origin wasn't revealed yet. One of the main points was this image here showing Goku Black still in his base form. And it's pretty usual that Goten was also advertised in his base form most of the time, especially when Goku Black is in this image next to 2 Super Saiyan Blues. Of course though, this didn't turn out to be true. Android 16 was based on Dr. Gero's son. This is pretty much confirmed in the superhero movie. 16's name used to be Givo and was a high-ranking Red Ribbon Army soldier who had the codename Gold. He was shot by a bullet and Dr. Gero made the Android 16 model we know today. Oh, and this confirms Android 21 as well. 2020 Olympics. In the advertisement for the Summer Olympics in Tokyo 2020, Goku, as well as some other characters, are advertised to be the ambassador for the Olympics. And yes, the federal Japanese government approves of this. Honestly pretty insane, I don't even care if my tax money is wasted. Budokai Trilogy's stolen music. In some OSTs of the Budokai series, you'll find it a little familiar. Don't worry, you're not insane. It's because Kenji Yamamoto was one of the composers for this, and was plagiarizing. There is a list of plagiarized music, but I will go ahead and give you a more blatant one. The theme song in Budokai 3 Capsule Obtained is a plagiarized version of September by Earth,
wind, and fire. How the hell did he get away with that?
When the HD collection was released, the OSTs that were plagiarized were replaced. As for Kenji Yamamoto here, he was fired. I doubt he'll never make a single music piece again. Krillin is the strongest human on Earth. In an interview with Akira Toriyama while talking about Android 18, Toriyama did say he is the strongest among the Earthlings despite his low confidence. Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. This is an unofficial Taiwanese film meant to adapt the original Dragon Ball, but in a little bit of a different story. Like the Harmony Gold dub, they also changed the characters' names, and Oolong looks like this. Its production is lower than a can of baked beans at a dollar store, but has a higher Rotten Tomatoes rating than the Dragon Ball Evolution movie, so there's that. This is a dub that began airing while Funimation was still recording the actual dub themselves, and it only aired in Southeast Asia, including India. So at the time, this was the actual English dub before Funimation even ever finished. They were originally going to dub 52 episodes, but only dubbed 27 of them according to Ray Chase, the voice actor of Oolong in this dub. Nudity in Dragon Ball. I don't want to talk about Goku's penis. Japan is weird, okay? Jiren was inspired by Buddha. Again, no official statement, so this is more so a theory, but the way Jiren meditates is a reference to the Amida Buddha. This could be a coincidence or a reference. Either way, I think it's a pretty cool way to know what brings up creativity in the Dragon Ball universe.
Try and fight me, pussy!
Funny German man in DBZ. Yeah, this was a whole thing in the Fusion Reborn movie. He only fought Goten and Trunks and was only temporarily revived throughout the movie. It was a whole side plot. Dragon Ball Fight Son Goku, Win Son Goku. Much like The Magic Begins, this is another unofficial movie. Except this one is absolutely hilarious because fucking Poar smokes in this movie. Vegeta is naturally stronger than Goku. Noting the word naturally, this is true. This is because Vegeta is a known elite warrior and had a big power level compared to Goku at birth. If Goku didn't learn Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb, he probably wouldn't have lasted long against Vegeta. So the main reason why they tie each other is because Goku had a lot more training opportunities than Vegeta ever since the beginning of Dragon Ball. Broly and Paragus ate Beats. In the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Beats is the Saiyan that went with Paragus to go look for Broly while trying to get him out of the Saiyan pod. Paragus would later shoot Beats during their stay at Planet Vampa. As this entry states, Beats was most likely eaten in order for Broly and Paragus to survive. There is no evidence of this. But if it's true, then that's pretty dark. Dragon Boy. Dragon Boy is a manga that Akira Toriyama made to serve as a prototype that would later become Dragon Ball. The Goku for this manga, Tang Tong, would be a human with dragon wings, which is similar to Goku's tail. There are a lot of other similarities too, but I think I got my point across. Ultra Instinct Reptilian Eyes. This sounds like a really cool concept, but I did my research and I could not find a thing about this. If anyone is able to tell me information about this entry, please tell me in the comments. Fire Traffic Safety PSA. The name of these PSAs respectively are Goku's Fire Brigade and Goku's Traffic Safety. These two educational videos were meant to teach about being careful to not cause fires and being careful during traffic. Both of these PSAs were released at the same time and distributed to schools for kids to learn. Leaked Funimation voice clip controversy. This was a leak of the English voice actors playing audio clips for Dragon Ball characters, and there is some absolutely shocking stuff in this. I'll go ahead and play a clip here.
I do have one more request. It has to do with our training regime. Will you guys suck me off until I come all over your faces? Hey, look at those f***ing ass clothes. Fucking my son's a
Now, the following was censored because, fun fact, I would like to actually make this video monetized, but there are some genuinely funny stuff in here, like Krillin talking about 18 behind her back. But then there's others, like Chi-Chi making an incest joke with Gohan. I think this was just some office humor type of thing, but at the same time, I feel kinda creeped out about it, not gonna lie. Now, there are some people that might think it's AI, but in reality, it's not. It was uploaded in 2019 before AI was even popularized. canceled Budokai 3 GameCube port. Like Budokai 1 and 2, it was released for GameCube. However, for Budokai 3, it only saw a PS2 release. The reason why is unknown, but it's speculated that it was because the first 2 games for GameCube did not even sell well. Hit has a clone. In the Tournament of Power arc, Hit was knocked out of the platform and sent back to the bleachers because of Jiren. Hit didn't really talk after this, so it was believed that this Hit was a clone. Or it could just be Toei's budget. Goku is the villain of the Tournament of Power arc. This is referring to how everyone is mad at Goku because it was his idea for the Tournament of Power to happen. As a result of this, both of the Zenos were erasing universes whenever a universe team would lose. Jiren does seem to forgive Goku by the final episode, but it hasn't been said if the other universes forgive him though. Summer Vacation Special. This is a special that isn't really that special. All it is just Goku and Gohan discussing the events of Dragon Ball movies up until Super Android 13, and they're wearing tuxedos. And that's it. Namekians are the lowest form of Kai. This is a theory that Namekians are actually Kais. They're kind of similar in design, but they don't really have similar abilities. Plus, I think Piccolo would have recognized the Supreme Kai from the Majin Buu arc. Bulma caused the Saiyan Saga. Bulma never really got her wish to get a boyfriend. But as the years passed by, her wish kind of ended up getting true because she married Vegeta, right? Well, I mean, technically she got her wish, just not by Shenron. Whis and the other angels are evil. All I saw was a Reddit thread with 2 links linking back to the post for some reason. Even if this theory was true, why would the angels even be evil when their main role is to keep neutral in every situation possible? Belmont and Margarita were originally lovers. For the Dragon Ball Super manga, Toyotaro in an interview said that Belmont and Margarita were originally to be lovers at one point. However, he was corrected by Akira Toriyama, who said that the angels were dispatched by Zeno, so it's not possible for an angel to fall in love with a god of destruction. Goten and Trunks fuse into a car. This was an advertisement for Ford. In the ad, Goten and Trunks do the fusion dance and make the Ultimate Warrior, a Ford Focus. This advertisement was only aired in the West. Toriko One Piece collaboration. This was in honor of Toriko's 3rd year of the anime. The story centered around a race to get a Kara Shizzle cattle, which is just food. Then Goku, Luffy, and Toriko later fight somebody named Akami. I don't know, I haven't seen Toriko. Fun fact about this special, we never got the English dub until March of 2023. The original Japanese version was released a week before Battle of Gods in 2015. All non-canon movies are their own timeline. Well, yes and no. There are times where the movies do mention the canon. For example, Cooler mentions Frieza's defeat at the end of the Namek saga, but there are also times where the movies feel like their own story. Either way, they're not canon, so it doesn't really matter what movie is connected to the DBZ timeline or not. Porn parodies. Goten was conceived while Goku was a Super Saiyan. While Goten is training Goten, Goten immediately went Super Saiyan. For Gohan, he had to train with Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber during the Cell Saga. And strangely enough, Goku was a Super Saiyan throughout the rest of the arc, and Goten was born after Cell was defeated. So it is considered that Goku had intercourse with Chi-Chi as a Super Saiyan. You'd think I'd find that weird, but I'm more shocked that Chi-Chi survived. Wait. That's more evidence Chi-Chi knows the Kaioken. Quick, write that down! Whis killed Trunks and Mai. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in this theory. It kind of just picks her round of the dialogue for the anime, and it kind of just giving me a migraine. Goku is the Eternal Dragon. At the end of GT, Shenron takes Goku somewhere. Where? It's never conveyed, so it was up for the viewers to think what happened to him. But what we do see is the Dragon Balls being absorbed into Goku, kind of like how Sen Shenron became Omega Shenron. So did Goku become the Eternal Dragon? Again, we don't know. The ending of GT is a mystery to everyone. Anyone could use Ultra Instinct. It's not a form just for the Saiyans. In fact, the angels are constantly in Ultra Instinct. Heck, the gods of destruction were also using this technique and were having a challenge. So yes, anyone could use Ultra Instinct. It'll be difficult as hell, but not impossible. Which means we could get Ultra Instinct Yamcha. Dragon Ball will never end. Dragon Ball is a series that doesn't really seem to end. If Dragon Ball were to end at any moment, I could always go back and watch the scenes I really enjoy. As of this video's release, the Dragon Ball Super manga has been confirmed to be going on since Toyotaro took over, and I can't wait for the future of Dragon Ball to move forward. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. You really touched our hearts with this series. Well, that's the whole iceberg. I hope you enjoyed the facts and trivia I gave out. I've never done a crap ton of research for a video in my entire YouTube life. The script that I've been reading out for this video is a total of 12 pages, which is the largest I've ever written. For those who want to know why I haven't been live streaming recently, that is because I have been busy with my IRL stuff. I know, that's pretty vague, but trust me, it's more important than making YouTube videos. Don't worry, I'll still be making YouTube videos. It's just gonna be less live streams because it's tiring me a little. I also apologize if the audio went a little quieter throughout the middle of this video. That's because my microphone blew out. I would use the microphone inside the desktop, but it ends up sounding like this. So I am definitely gonna need to get a new microphone after this video. I am also doing commissions if you are interested. If you want to hit me up, my DMs on Twitter are always open. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, you know, the usual YouTube jazz. And I'm OP Silver, signing off.